We are officially starting the library board meeting on Monday, July 27th at 6:03 PM. We can do an official roll call. Ange Ahern,
Jeff Gunderson.
Alvin Futterman, Susan Faust.
And Jonathan Tambry is the opposite. For the approval of the consent calendar, which is just the minutes.
Okay, great. So we'll move to item 2 on the agenda, approval of consent calendar, which includes the minutes from the previous meeting on June 1st.
Correction, a minute. In the item 6.4, election of chair and vice chair. It should be noted that the board elected Ange Ahern as chair and Susan vice chair. And that the next meeting was July 27th, not August 10th.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had to get a writing utensil. What was the first correction?
The chair.
The chair,
Ange.
which is under
The last page.
Item
6.4. Yeah.
6.4. Oh, that's a big one, yeah.
And the vice chair is Susan Faust. And the date, today's date, July 27th, not August 10th.
Okay. Sorry. And then I think someone should just need to second those corrections.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So approved.
So the agenda also has on the agenda, we also need to correct the chair and the vice chair. Well, the chair and
I'm gonna run and get a pen, sorry.
I know.
How many feet?
Call myself out.
Okay, so I'll just update the chair. And after those corrections, there are no members of the public online or in the room.
Great. So I think we'll move on to agenda item 3. So there's no public comment. Okay. So we'll move on to agenda 4, board members' reports and comments. Neither from me.
Enjoyed visiting the library though.
Oh, good.
Yes, likewise.
Yeah.
So my kids.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to the director's report, which is item number 5.
Okay. I'm going to be holding a few items for item 6.3, the programming and operational updates. But for my overall report, I want to highlight the Friends are going to be doing a book sale here on Sunday, August 23rd. So keep a lookout for that. They've been doing a lot of work on that, pulling together the books from the old library, the storage unit. So Sunday, August 23rd, the book sale will happen here. And the other thing I'm pleased to announce is in the last couple of weeks, we've hired 4 pages. Those are the people who shelve books, check-in books. So we had someone here today for 5 hours and they were able to clear the book drop and shelve most of the items, which it's not very exciting, but it's such a fundamental thing for us. It's really good. So the past week, we've been able to keep up a lot more. It's been really good. And then the other thing to highlight, today we launched a job recruitment for 2 library assistants. And those will be full-time positions. And those positions will basically do circulation and basic desk work. So they'll be at the desk helping people with basic questions. And then also, we hope after they're been onboarded, that this would allow us to go to 6 days. But
Did you have to
Go
right?
6 days.
yeah, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but that's kind of the long-term goal. It should be achievable soon assuming the recruitment goes well, we get 2 people who are capable and trainable. So, and it'll be Monday would be the 6th day.
David, on the pages, it's not just summer, they're gonna go on through the rest of the year.
They're going to go on through the rest of the year. Yeah, 3 of them are, look, 2 are Redwood students. One's at Archie Williams, and another one's an adult. Let me know the adult. Someone who works in the archive, I believe.
Yeah.
And so they'll be here, and we'll work with their schedule, their kids' schedules, but they'll be here like 2 to 5 hours a week. 2 to 5.
Great.
Good.
And for some of them too, I think this is like their first job, and we're helping them teach them to work skills and being on time and when to ask questions and not too much. So it's also kind of developing them as people.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And so that's it. I'm going to go in 6.3. I have a lot more on circulation, what we've been doing for programming, and those sorts of things. So I'll hold that till.
I know for the book sale, we talked previously about like how they're gonna make sure that it stays sort of at reasonable capacity the whole time. Have they flushed that out at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know they're going to do, and I'm going to be off on this a little bit, but like first hour is going to be like a preview for higher end, maybe more people. I'm not sure if it's going to be friends members or higher end purchases, but they're going to have something like that. But I don't know what details they finalized, what they've talked about.
Okay.
We've measured it out there. I think it's going to be partially out, though it will be partially outside, partially inside.
Do you have, are there any metrics you're looking for to open the 6 days or calendar in mind?
For the 6 days, it would be Monday. And then I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but also maybe Monday evening. So we might open like 2 to 7 or something Mondays, but haven't really flushed that out yet.
But you're looking toward the fall? When do you-
Probably late fall, early winter, because the recruitment will go through August,
Oh.
and then our hiring interviews are scheduled September 18th and 19th. So then it'll probably be 4 weeks after that, and it might depend on their skill level. So maybe in December, but
And these 2 people would be part-time.
full time.
They'd be full-time.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is partially a tribute to your advocacy and seeing how busy we are, but we have 4 people and we're getting 2 more, so that's percentage wise, that's like, that's huge.
That's really good.
So, it's,
Yeah.
So, and we did have a librarian that position, but we thought we really need bodies more.
Right.
And checking in and helping out. So we'll still always have a librarian here to help people, but this will, I think, do the bulk of day-to-day operations.
Okay.
And then one group will work probably Monday through Friday, and then the other group will work Tuesday through Saturday. Probably 3 Monday through Friday and 3 Tuesday through Saturday.
That's really good.
Heather, Susan? Better than to hammer that.
I think there was probably more to it than.
Wow. All part of it.
No, it is. I think it really is us being busy and there's just a lot of demand for people to come here. And it was bubbling up and this is the only way we can really do 6 days.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, that's great.
Well done, Dave.
We'll see.
Right.
Step by step.
Yeah.
Get too far.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, we can move on to item 6, which is the business items. 6.1 is the discussion of the library usage and data and performance.
And this was, from Susan and Jonathan's subcommittee work. And I was going to suggest we table this until Jonathan's present, because I think Jonathan has a lot of knowledge and passion around the issue. We will send out to you some of the preliminary work that was done by Susan. And I think this kind of gets into a lot of the detail we do and see. I will say in June, we almost circulated 10,000 physical items. Fordham Dare is closed, that's part of it. But we were seeing that kind of consistent large use of books. So this will help our
Understand. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing on that too is there's so many questions about how the data is going to be gathered. Same as in the past with their new capacities. Your data.
Yeah, we'll have to go through that. I still don't know if we're gonna be able to get the door count. Or we want to do something. What's happening, we're testing it. It doesn't get people in the shade. So it doesn't know. A lot of people, I think the error of trends would be accurate because it's doing the same error, but some of the numbers are so low it isn't accurate. Because I've gone around and done people counts at certain times during the day. And again, I'll get into this a little more in my other part, but some days there's 90 or 100 people in here, and then the door count showing like 100 for the whole day. So some of those things we'll still have to work on, but most of the data, like the circulation, computer usage, digital usage, anything from that will be relatively easy. We'll table it?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll send it out as an action.
We need to make
But maybe for the good of the order, might be.
Let's make a motion to table item 6.1 until Jonathan is present.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So one of the things we're working on still are policies. I know we wanted to have policy. I'm still kind of working on what the city's going to do and what we're going to do. The one I know we're going to do, probably two, I'll just say here before the item, we're still working on the teaming policy. And then also out here last week, we got a bulletin board where it's actually slat wall. And so maybe the next meeting, I want to bring our public posting policy. We don't have one, but what do we post there and the priority order? So something like we put our events out there, support group events, etc. So that'll probably be one that's coming to you next month, because that one I know we'll do in the city hall. What the city did, and we collaborated on this one, I think it's something final, is the rental use and library room policy. So I just wanted to go over this with you. We're slowly announcing this to community members. Like, we don't have it posted on the website yet, but people who inquire, we're now providing this information to them. And what they need to do is essentially contact us at library at City of Larkspur. And then they forward it to me, and then I work with the group or individuals on the rooms. And there's a few things with the rooms here. Is you see that there's 3 different types of rooms listed on the first page. So there's the medium room, which is room 1, the large room, which is 2, and then this room, which is 3. And we've had a few people excited about the rooms, but then if you look on page 2, we do have a fee schedule for the rooms. And so one of the fee schedules is everyone, nonprofit, no matter who you are, needs to pay a $25 non-refundable reservation fee for cleaning and maintenance. And so I think this one's, a couple groups haven't been excited about this fee and aren't using it. So right now we have only 2 live bookings. The Friends are going to use it for their meeting and then the book sale. So they're paying $25 a day for that because they're a nonprofit. And then the Friends of Corte Madera Creek Watershed are also going to meet in this room for their regular meeting. So we're still kind of getting that up, but the $25 policy, I think, is a couple people haven't got back to. And then the other fees with the room is if for number 2, which is the big one, we'll set it up for you in theater style, but it costs $100 for us to do that. And then under there, the hourly rates, you see, if you're a government organization or Larkspur community serving nonprofit, so if you're a nonprofit, it doesn't automatically mean you get the fee waived. You kind of have to serve Larkspur Library, kind of like Friends or Friends of Corte Madera Creek. And kind of looking at those groups individually, if kind of down there details a little more, if you're nonprofit, if they charge dues, then you don't qualify for this. So then the hourly rate you see there for the medium is 50. The large is 125. And then this one's 30 an hour. So that, again, we had a few inquiries, but after the discussions kind of slowed down a little bit. And then if you use number 2, they have to provide insurance. And so even like the Friends of the Library are starting to get insurance. And they'll have insurance for the book sale. And that kind of goes in there, the minimum and the all the.
How do they arrange for the insurance?
How do they arrange?
For the insurance?
The organization needs to carry it.
Oh,
If they have problems with that, there's like 1-day policies that might be available. We could discuss with them.
but we don't offer them anything. They have to come with verification.
Yeah, I think the city would be open to getting under their policy for a 1-day if it was a very close special organization. So like the city paid for the book brigade insurance or touch truck insurance. Okay. But generally the city's not going to cover groups.
There are many organizations. They are organized, just know that they have to get insurance and have a way to get it.
But you said that's only subject to if you're booking room 2, right?
Yeah, only room 2.
So I don't know if that's clear from here or if I'm just not seeing that.
There is on page. This is weird. I didn't notice this till you said it. But if you go to page 5 of 3,
Yeah,
I don't know why it's not 5 of 6.
yeah.
There's a self-insurance for 1 and 3,
So in fact,
but
5
I
of 3 should be 3 of 3.
Well, there's still 6.
Then this is 1.
There's 1, 2, 3, and then there's another 1, 2, 3.
The one that is 5 of 3 is really 3 of 3 of the first packet, the application. We have 1 of 3,
yeah,
2 of 3, and 5 of 3 should be 3 of 3 because that's the end of the application form. At the bottom it says,
No, there's
6 of 3.
yeah.
right, they all say.
I think there's numbering is to see up here,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Doing it.
And
But the insurance requirement, I would just put like a caveat in this, that this is on the top of page 5. Sorry, top of page 4, 5, no, top of page 5, that the insurance requirement there is for room 2.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, that's a good feedback. I've been in my email kind of communications based on my first doing some like pre-things.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but I think I'll see if we can get that along with the numbering. That's a good, a little confusing.
The other thing that I saw that was a little confusing to me is that on page 4, it says, eight in the first paragraph, subsection 2, age 21 years or older if alcohol will be served or sold. And then on page 5, it says sale of alcoholic beverages is prohibited under that first sentence for alcoholic beverages. So that's just a little confusing.
Okay.
If we just, I mean, it sounds like we should just take out or sold from the page 4. Right?
Yeah, that's a good.
Well, here it said it's prohibited. Sale of alcoholic beverages
Right.
prohibited.
Right. Here it says it's served or sold. So you can serve, but I don't think you can sell.
That's right.
And you have to get the appropriate approvals.
Right, but either way, it sounds like you don't want, the intent is not to sell.
So
Right. It's prohibited to sell anyway, so it's not even mentioned.
it's more to serve some. Okay, that's good.
But I do understand now what you're saying, but insurance, it's really unclear. It's self-insurance option for 1 and 3.
Right.
And then what about 2 and
Yeah.
the insurance for each room is foggy.
No, that's good. Because this is your first time seeing it.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, I'm just thinking about like, who may want to rent rooms 1 and 3 around like, maybe they're not, I don't know. It's like a bridge room or something, right? Like
Or
a,
homeowner association.
yeah, exactly. Something like that where,
Or do pay dues, so they would have to pay the rental fee. But if they really want to have a conference with,
they don't have insurance and like they don't, it doesn't make sense for, I don't know, the homeowners group probably would. I'm even thinking of like a social, right? Like in,
you have to carry insurance. With the club, like the Women's Club of Costa Madera, they carry insurance. And actually our dues only cover insurance.
but what if it isn't like an organized club? It's just like a school, I don't know.
The chess club.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't have dues, so they would not have to pay, the fee. They don't.
They're not a nonprofit. They're just an individual group.
Okay.
Yeah, they would pay.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have insurance. They could just rent room 3 and,
We're like Larkspur Community Foundation.
yeah.
I'll use them as an example. They weren't interested in the $25 fee up to the meeting in homes, but I don't think they have insurance.
Right. But if they were interested in that, yeah.
Then they
Yeah.
could be one.
But they would, yeah,
And Damon, sorry, I'm being a stickler, but
that's why we're here.
the other part that looked to me like maybe we need some clarification on, I know the $25 is non-refundable on here, but it says, and it's due at the time of reservation, but also there's on page 4 in the middle, the cancellation by city. So the city reserves the right to cancel. Does that, in that case, if the city is canceling, does that fee get refunded?
I would assume so, but let me make an inquiry on that because I could also see it depending on the group they can credit. Like the Friends of Corte Madera Creek are meeting the 3rd Thursday, all
Yeah.
month, and I could see if we had to cancel them
Correct.
to credit it. But let me check on that. I'm not
It could be
sure.
up to the group to decide whether they want credit or whether they want it to be Whether it is, they should be credited. Either it's accredited in newsletter or they get a refund.
Well, it's like if they
The
cancel, it's different than the city.
City can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's, I'll clarify that. I would assume we would do a refund.
Yeah, I would think so.
Our finance would rather us not, just in our terms of our process. That's why I kind of want to make sure before you pay, like, you really want the room, and you know, you've been going through the process. Right now, we're only doing checks in person. It is set up for credit card almost. But we would lose 2.9% on each transaction. So I think and I think it'd be easier to do the refund with a check, but those are good questions, no matter what.
Yeah.
Whatever the city can do, whether it's they get a credit or, but it.
But
It
I'm
should
gonna-
be addressed and because people will have a question, saying, wait a minute. If I cancel, I lose my money, and if you cancel, I lose my money.
Yeah,
Lose cancellation.
I think if they cancel, it's fine to
Fine.
keep it non-refundable, but if the city cancels, that feels, I mean,
Yeah.
unfair, yeah.
yeah, I would agree. I'll confirm that. I would guess we would refund it, but
Moving toward the credit card, there's the fee, does that fee get passed along to? Or does it get absorbed?
we absorb it. So for like, we tested it, last week. And like, and so I paid the $25 fee. And then, the city got whatever, $23. I got charged 25 and they got 23. We're using the same system we use for the meeting room bookings for these rooms, but we haven't quite made that system publicly available because I'm not trying to make this form online submittable.
So this refunded is addressed at the bottom, payment of fees and department. In the event that the city cancels the reservation, all fees shall be refunded or held as a credit for future reservation.
Page four, okay.
Oh, good, okay.
So it can just be copied and pasted into cancellation by the city. Where
Reading everything, you know.
Yeah.
it's linked.
Yeah, or even just say see payment fees and deposits for more information or something. Yeah, that's a good link.
So, yeah, so we're sending this out to folks as they ask. And then I'm just kind of working with them individually. I think we want to get a better system, I guess, maybe online and people can kind of doing it, but we're kind of still working through some of the process with this, but these are live now. You don't have to pay the $25 fee either. And none of the city groups have to pay the fee, you know, like city council or whatever. So, that's kind of here. We're also scheduling it. So for the most part, the library programs would have priority over anyone reserving the room. But, you know, we'd have discussions over that if, and then if they're reserving it at night, I'll send them a code. So they'll put it on the side of the door here, and then it would open up whatever room they've rented. And then the library would be locked, and then they would still have access to the restrooms. And then we do offer also AV training if people want to have training before. We were having people coming to the desk and wanting the training immediately. So now we've kind of set up, you need to set up an appointment with us and go over with it. These rooms are pretty easy because you just plug in. We have the remotes locked up there. So we'd give them the code for that. In this room, if they do rent it, it's a little more complicated with 2 microphones and you know, that setup's a little different. These are really set up more for Zoom meetings in here. So we'll work with you on AV we don't charge for those appointments. That's kind of it. We're still waiting for our first one will be the Friends, will be our first test. So, we did waive the fee for the book sale.
And is that your discretion then?
It's it's at my discretion to a certain extent.
And the insurance for the book sale is,
The Friends are gonna buy insurance. They haven't submitted it yet, but they just feel like they've done enough events, I guess, that it probably is worth for them to have insurance. And people are carrying heavy books and,
But the public is coming in.
yeah, someone could just trip or, you know, whatever, but
so this is pretty complex, complete and complex. Do you think that there are any groups who would be discouraged from using it because of this, of any aspect of it? The $25 thing is pretty nominal, but we foresee any big groups, or maybe in the future we could see who is not using it, or we just prevented from using it because it's too there's too many hurdles.
yeah, we could do, like I mentioned, Larkspur Community Foundation didn't want to pay the $25 fee. And I think for some people, maybe it isn't financial, but it might be, you know, principle. I didn't go in depth with them on that, but I think that might be part of that issue. And I think for someone like a writers group wanted to meet in there and they proposed a plan, and then I sent this to them and probably was going to cost $750 what they wanted to do. I didn't hear back from them, but they wanted to do like a monthly meeting writers group there.
How could it be $750? What did they,
It's $125 an hour,
or they wanted to have
multiple days and
more than
hours.
1 hour?
So the city set the fees.
The city council approved the fees, and then this was all like gone over again by the city attorney. So the city set and I think at the June council meeting, they set the fees, as you see. And they had the discussion, should all nonprofits be waived? What nonprofits?
I wonder if there could be a sliding scale, like 125 for the first hour, and then if people, because once people are there, all it prevents is from someone else to rent the room at the same time. But if it helps groups like a writer group to have access to this room, making the second or the subsequent hours a little less expensive, it might encourage the public to actually use them. To build those rooms and to have hurdles that prevent using them, especially if it's just financial. Let's see how it works, but might need revision. Can't have them sitting empty because they're too expensive for the groups who need them.
Don't want to discourage groups that have connection, who's connected with the library, like a writers group, to be discouraged.
Hi, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I left my purse outside about like,
Oh,
Found it?
we found it.
Yes.
oh my gosh, thank God, sorry. I've been like, I was like in my head all day and I
Okay.
completely forgot it.
Yeah.
Okay, we think
Yes.
we may need to adjourn for a minute.
Yeah, let's pause the meeting for a
Okay.
second.
Yeah.
So sorry to have interrupted. Where,
I'm just gonna leave it on.
We're gonna pause the meeting for a few minutes.
In case I can't just start.
Yeah, you can just leave it.
Okay.
Just
Leave
leave
it.
it.
Be-
We'll
Be quiet.
We'll consider this public comment.
What's the still on?
Yes.
So nice.
There was a person with
Must be so relieved.
laptop that was on a chair when I walked from the parking lot. I thought it was Ange, that she was around, that you just, ran back to your car. Then nobody came. Damon opened the door. The purse was alone. I figure we can't do that here. It's someone's laptop.
She's very.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah.
and her laptop was in her
Laptop.
Oh, God.
It's probably.
I would have been freaking out, yeah.
So I brought it in and Damon put it in the front desk because you never know when we'd be here. We knew that somebody would come back eventually, retracing on several steps, but good thing we had a meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Restless night.
Well, someone could have taken it,
Yeah,
but it's Larkspur. It could have
I was
sat there.
gonna say, it could have been there for a week.
But if she had any tracks in it, a raccoon or a mouse could have moved it in. Raccoon can get into cars, so maybe they would have gotten into the laptop and sent weird emails. We've all done that, leave things.
Oh, yeah, it's too many times.
And then you think, how could I have done that? How could I have walked away from it?
Credit cards, wallet, phone.
Children.
That didn't count.
She will be a lifelong library user.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
Well
Let's
done.
resume the meeting at 6:40 PM.
And I would just get real quick on the group. So one of the things I know city council debated is trying to be also fair to everyone and making it equitable. So with the sliding scale, they'd have to figure out that a little bit. That's kind of,
We can wait and see the request you get and how and what groups backpedal because of the cost. And then maybe December reassess and see how many groups used it, how many inquired and how many backpedal and what type of group backpedal because and see. Yes, for now, we don't really know.
yeah,
We only know about that particular group that you mentioned.
I'm also curious about what neighboring libraries do. I'm pretty sure there's a poetry group that meets in Mill Valley that's very active. And those people end up being very dedicated to the library. So I don't know how that all plays out. You know?
touch that on 6.3. They were here. They did a program here.
Oh, great.
2 weeks ago. So if it's a library sponsored program, it's free. So kind of getting into 6.3 a little bit, but we've also had chess clubs. So if we're sponsoring the group meets for free, but the flip side of that is they have to let anyone attend their program.
Right.
So I think for some groups who want as not open of an area, it's kind of a balance about what maybe your comfort level is. If you want more of the exclusive chess club or writers club. I know that poetry group that was here is open to everyone.
Okay.
So there's always a core group of folks who, steer a group or attend every meeting. But that's part of the Marin, I think it's the Marin Traveling Poetry Show. They've been around Marin for like 30 years, at least since I knew. So I don't know if we're talking about the same group.
No, I just know that there's an active group in Mill Valley. I was just curious if there was fee.
And I think for some groups too, this room's very appealing with the kitchen and everything. But the other couple rooms may work for them and they may not have a microphone or may not be as dynamic either. That might be something sometimes.
And so how are the study rooms being?
The study rooms are very, very popular. And so on our online, you can reserve it up to a week in advance. We're still That's probably a policy I'll bring to you at some point, but we're refining it because when we review something, people still kind of, from our perception, game the system a little bit. So you reserve it online and then you have it up to 2 hours a day, but we require you to do the reservations together. So you reserve it, if you reserve it, you can't reserve it 10 to 10:30, 11 to 11:30, 11:30 to 12, 12:30 to 1, and then hope no one comes in between the two slots before. So we require people to do a block, and you can have up to a 2 hour block. And then we require people to leave the room at the end of their session, even if no one's got it reserved, just so it cycles through. But it's used by people who Zoom. I mean, we don't monitor people super close, but Zoom calls, tutoring, students working together are the three primary uses. But I would say generally, at least during our peak are always full, all full, booked in advance.
So there's no walk-in.
There could be, but it's rare. Like like Thursday at 11, I bet you could probably walk in and get one.
To get back to this, talking about tutoring, let's think that these groups can only have 2 people, right? So that we have a group of high schoolers who are looking for a place where they can just work on a project that they are doing. This room would work for them if there's 5 of them and they're just shuffling their things, and fee might be something. The $25 fee, I'm sure they can do it, even when they pay for lunch. But the hourly fee, if they need 3 hours to get their project finished, that might be more. So this one is $30. But see, this is what I meant by having the sliding scale. Because if we have students or a group of young people who are just somebody who's helping people in a little seminar on how to write a resume, for example, let's find out who's asking for the room and why they don't book it because of the money, and then go from there. We don't want someone who's trying to help others or get a good group together to be stopped because we have a fee that is a little too high for them.
Yeah, we'll review it, and just kind of, one of the things is you have to be 21 to get the ring.
18, right?
18.
Then 18.
Oh, 18, okay, 18. You have to be an adult to get the room.
But that's to rent it, right? Then you could have, like,
To
if
use
she's
it.
talking about, the resume writing is a great example. So if you have someone, they're 25 and they're doing a seminar on how to write a resume, are they allowed to have minors in their seminar here?
I would say like the policy right now, if it's a library program, it would be free and they would have to let everyone attend. If they wanted to rent it, they would be charged the fee.
Sure, but then can they have minors? It's like right now they would
Oh,
be charged
they
a
could-
fee, but could they have minors attend their seminar?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so the renter has to be.
But they could charge, it can't be used for any commercial purposes.
They couldn't charge.
So they couldn't charge the people attending
Right.
Right,
or offer any
Right.
commercial services. So we would probably, someone like that, talk to, just make sure they understood the policy.
Right.
yeah, so they would have to foot the bill and they wouldn't really be able to get reimbursed
Right.
for that.
And then promote their services.
Well,
Yeah.
if it's a teacher, just have a bunch of students who realize they need help with writing their resume and can't do it during school or whatever. They think, oh, let's go to the library, let's use one of the groups. That may never come, but that's why I would be interested to know the groups who inquire and do not take it, and to see what these groups are, what they're trying to do, and why did they say no, so that we can make sure that this policy
is really serving the needs of the people hiring.
Do that.
In something like that,
We-
is it in your discretion to say, okay, yeah, we can waive the fee, like in the current state of affairs? Is that something in your discretion that you'd be able to approve?
Within the policy, so if they were a Larkspur serving nonprofit, then I could waive the fee.
I see.
If they're not a Larkspur serving nonprofit, maybe like Toastmasters.
Yeah,
Then, so it's within my discretion,
I
but
see.
within
within a nonprofit.
that nonprofit call.
Okay.
And then the 25 is always done.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it would, so somebody from Ross inquired was a nonprofit. And they didn't qualify because they're a Ross nonprofit, they weren't a Larkspur. So I didn't waive the fee for that after consulting with the city manager.
Well, to not have a library, they're part of our patrons.
They pay their taxes to Cordon-Bleu,
Right.
technically, so they can come here and come to the
Right.
programs. But we could move to 3 because I think some of this is kind of getting into,
Yeah.
might be a 3 a little bit, if I could.
Yeah, let's run.
And the one thing I was going to mention was 6.3. I'm going to jump around slightly a little bit for what I was going to do. Cordon-Bleu, as I mentioned, has been closed. So we've been very busy and running out of seats with regularity past week, month or so. So I can't remember if I told you this, but we opened this up for Red Hall Study Hall. In middle of June, I think that was the 16th. And then the Friends helped us monitor it. And kind of since early July, we've been opening this up in the afternoon when all the seats are full. And so that's where some of the kid collaborations, and there's been more tutoring in the summer than I would have thought. So we've been using this room. And we have a camera. So the one thing with these rooms is they're not visible to staff. So we had a camera installed in that room. And so we'll monitor with the camera. And then for some events, we require a staff person to sit in there. Or like the teacher, we got the Friends volunteers to sit in there. Again, just to have eyes, because the building's very sound isolated. So it's hard to hear in there. So we have been opening that up for overflow and collaborations. So that would be something like with the writing, depending on
Right.
how they would do it.
Yes.
It would be, maybe that would work if we're open.
That's
just
right.
kind of something. But we'll still listen and, there might be other
Yeah.
things that we were trying to figure out
Right.
how to make that.
Right, so we do have other ways for groups like that who are not real, they are real group, they are not official. Like group. That's it.
Yeah, and people have to understand it's not perfectly quiet in there if they go in there. So some people complain it's not quiet in there,
They can always,
but on their bed. So we've been trying to do that just to make it more appealing. And then we've also found people like today, a lot of people hang out here in the shade. So even though we were closed on those tables, like the young woman who was just
Yeah.
here, they're collaborating out there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of groups actually out there, but they like the shade. And then just a few other things with Cordon-Bleu, but this will be, I think, an ongoing issue that we're working on is the parking lot is at capacity often. And I don't know if you've come here when it's full and you have to do the 3-point turnaround. So we've had just a lot of feedback. We have inadequate parking. It's not too much we can do. In the policy here, we tell people to go to Piper. Or they can use the staff lot. We are working with Rose Lane. People aren't supposed to park in the residential neighborhood. And you might notice we've put up additional signs that say no parking in the residential area, no access. So we're trying to work with our neighbors to make sure no one's parking over there, but it is It's hard.
The parking, that's an interesting comment because the old library had no parking.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
anything over that is an improvement.
That's right. And the
You
there
don't have
is
that.
parking. There's not that much parking in front of the door. There, as you said, the Piper Park,
Yeah.
it's easy to cross.
The
There-
lucky park.
There's a lucky parking lot with snow, which is a private property. I get it. We
Yeah.
can't recommend it, but
Smart people will figure it out.
Well, there's a whole empty Lucky, right? Like, yes, it's a.
and there's a city parking lot, which is 2 minutes and a
Right.
half.
Yeah.
You can, the walk is,
It's no further. I mean, there's so much parking that is closer, or at least as close as there was at the old.
there will never be enough parking.
I think part of the issue, and I kind of this the Cordillera closure, is we're seeing people who never visited the old library,
Yeah.
and we're like a new destination. So I think for some of us, the reference point isn't quite the same. Because we didn't get the complaint, but then when Cordillera closed, we get this whole new group of people, like, it had the same, like, some of the issues we had from the first people, like parking and the new building smell. We're kind of, they're like, well, we don't know this. So I think part of it was new people.
My library does not have that much parking either.
No,
You can park on the street. Because
And when did it be open?
Labor Day weekend, hopefully the Friday before Labor Day. And I think that, I still though think we'll have parking issues because I'll go over the programs a little bit. We've had some hugely successful programs and then like story time. I don't know if you've made it yet, but there's just a lot of people. So even I think when Cordillera opens, we're still gonna have a full parking lot.
that's the reading. I noticed that there's a porta potty in the parking lot.
Yeah, so they were supposed to start, I'm not sure what that, I'm gonna back up.
Is it for construction?
Yeah, I thought today they were gonna start, there's the benches in the front of the library. They're gonna put those in cement and have them more fixed into the ground.
I see.
And they were supposed to start today, and then also on their plan, they didn't have the porta potty. So I didn't hear back from them why they took the parking space for the porta potty. But that should be completed in a week. And it's supposed to be a minor project, so we're still hoping. But they're gonna take up 2 more spaces with their trucks from 7 to 3 when they're doing. And Monday was supposed to be a better day because we're closed. But sometimes the contractors.
It's not snowing and there's parking 2.5 minutes away.
Yeah, maybe there's like, I don't know. It sounds like you're working on the signage with the neighborhood, but maybe it's just like extra signage, like, low parking on Piper Park and overflow parking in the city lot on Magnolia.
That's a good, because at least that gives people like where to go and we
Yeah.
can good faith say, look,
Right, but that's it.
at least we're saying this is
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
choice. It's not.
What I do see when I come that I see cars parked in the electrical vehicle charging station that are not electric vehicle.
Yeah, not being charged or.
When people are coming in and out to pick up up and figure.
Yeah.
Park them. It's the same everywhere. I think it's,
Yeah, and I think all the libraries have parking issues, except maybe Civic Center, like it's stuff in Santa and South Mill Valley, stuff to park in. It's so, but it is what it is. It's already corrected.
Yeah.
We hear a lot that they should have had a pass through, but we couldn't have done that because the neighborhood, instead of a 3-point turnaround, that you would have it just flow through. But the garden would have been smaller. So there's always these trade-offs, and this outdoor space is really nice. And like, we've used this for a few programs out here, the grass. So the parking lot kind of got shrunk a little bit to give it more of a non-parking lot fee.
None of it, as I said, you have to walk a mile to the next parking opportunity.
Always like.
Yeah.
So things, and then the other thing we're having, so that's kind of was a coordinator issue, but ongoing issue I wanted to highlight. And this is kind of operational updates is how I'm thinking of this. Is our locker out front is more popular than over there. So we're still working on how to manage it. Before we could like leave things in there over a certain amount of time, but when it's full, we have to move the next person on. And then what'll happen is someone doesn't pick up their hold, but then they're waiting for this other book that came in.
Right.
And so you could remove their one book from the slot. I don't know. It's become a little more complicated, but again, it's a good problem. It's like high demand. So I did talk with the locker rep like today and just saw what it would take to get another bank. We could add another bank to the lockers.
Do you think it's temporary, that it is linked to Corte Madera not being open so that it's people? Do you think it is because people know about it because it's way more visible here than it was in the old facility and people did not know about it? Or do you think it is linked to Corte Madera being closed? Or do you think it's both of them and that it's going to get more and more used anyway?
I think it's the both are there. Our whole shelf is probably double what it was normally. So like we go out there now, most of the whole books are full. And I think some people are discovering it because of Corte Madera closure. I think the other thing for us is we have not as many hours open as other libraries. So it was kind of our safety valve for, I know you can't come this time, but you could come at any
Right.
point if it's in the locker. So I think it's kind of both of those that people discovering it and our hours are also part of it.
About being open an extra day at some point.
Yeah, I think if we open a day and then maybe in the evening, because then people can just come in the library
Yeah.
because on some level for open, it's just as easy to come in and get it and leave versus the locker, you still have to push your button.
What the Library Foundation is the one who bought that first locker. So if it is if another one would be used just as much, maybe approaching them and asking for a second one with the recognition of the usefulness of that first gift.
Yeah, I think that could be because you could just buy one like slot of lockers. You don't have to buy like a whole unit. So it's relatively affordable. So, and I think the foundation likes the locker. That's one of their jewels.
Yeah, it's very
So-
tangible, especially if people use it.
Yeah. So those were kind of the three things I wanted to highlight there. So for programming, this summer we've tried to really go back to higher level programming. We're doing a lot of the stuff we did in the previous library that was successful. So that were less time intensive to set up. And so I just wanted to highlight a few things for children. We've returned story time, and then we're doing our bilingual colors of Spanish on a regular basis. And I think those story times now are 75 to 100 people on a regular basis. And I think it's just going to stay that way because Corte Madera will also always be closed on Fridays. So we're kind of the exciting thing in town for 10 a.m. for kids, I think. Just want to highlight some of the workshops again that were pretty packed in here. We had a puppet art theater, we had a drumming workshop. These also for us target the elementary school age kids, which, the story times, the really little ones, the pre-TK. So we're really seeing elementary and middle school kids coming in here more part of the programs, but I think it's part of the new location, the collection, et cetera. But these programs, we're trying to really target the elementary kids more because we do as much as the year. We also had, in addition to the puppet and the drumming, we had 2 slime workshops that were very popular. And we have a registration system that worked well. So that was, like I said, we had a circus out on the lawn that was really popular again. We also had a bubble party out there where people did bubbles. And the cool thing of the bubble party was it was a lot of parents were connecting while the bubbles were going because the bubbles weren't, it's kind of passive and you don't have to focus like a circus, but you could see all the community conversations around the end while the kids were in the middle. And so we want to do more things that kind of connect adults with their kids. That's what something I'm wondering because I think that's a big need here. We brought back Read to a Dog, and that was we didn't get anyone over there the last 2 times we did it, but here we had all signups, and every slot was full, and that was popular. So I think we're going to go back to the main site and see if we get multiple dogs because it's just easier if you have more dogs to read to. And this week we have a magic show, so a lot of fun things. But like after the bubbles, that room was packed, and a lot of books got checked out. And when we had it at Piper, we lost the whole connection because you're bringing them in to get the books. Is a big part of it. Connecting that now they're getting books over here, so that's been a really good thing for teens. And I guess this is everyone. We've started a chess club, and a senior at Redwood wanted to start it. So basically, we're just bringing chess sets in there and people play. It's pretty low energy for us, but I think people like it. We've kind of just let them set the rules to start, like you can decide if you want to time it or, all those kind of things. And I think that'll be interesting how that goes. It's 4 to 5 on Tuesdays. And we'll do that through the end of the summer. Probably after school starts, we'll restart it. But there were a couple adults in there with the teens. So that was good. And then on Saturdays, we haven't really promoted it, but we have kind of an informal D&D, Dungeons and Dragons club that meets here. And anyone can attend, but we're not promoting it, but they're just kind of self-sufficient. It's low energy for us. They asked if they could do it. And so that's been popular for that group of tweens.
And it's in the teen room.
In the teen room, yeah. That's something we're still wrestling with, if the teen room will be like a programming space or more just a hangout space. We kind of did it in there because staff could still see them. So we had a staff person in for the chess club the first time. I think if it's up and running and it feels right, we'll probably let them be more autonomous. But the D&D, just so we have the eyesight, they're really good. It's not them. And then for adults, we've got a few things. Again, we're trying to do these community connections. So we're doing life story groups. So this is kind of a series we're doing where these adults come in, and they're generally, I would say, most are over 80. And they're talking about their life stories through a volunteer who's facilitating the discussion. And so it's kind of a progressive building, small talk question, like I was a part of the first one. You get in small groups and then talk about a topic. And so one was you had 1 minute to share your childhood here. And then kind of the goal is you kind of go into deeper conversation. So last 5, they were talking about maybe building up to the question, are you satisfied with your life and what would you have done differently? Which
In 1 minute. That's a long field.
And so I think the group is like, well, maybe find your favorite food next or something. But some were into it, but it was a good group. And then they had tea outside afterwards. And again, that's a free program for us as someone who's just trying to facilitate connection. We did some wellness series we did chair yoga, sound bath, and then we have breath work coming up. And people really like just those wellness. And again, we're trying to introduce the topic to people more than giving long-term classes. And then we did a couple museum talks on the Etruscans and day.
Right.
Our first one, we had the tables up because usually only 10 people would come, but there was 50, so we had to move all the tables.
Wow.
And the friends are doing little food with it. So it was very kind of connection. And the friends had a good idea of doing it. I think we're going to try to do senior program Friday afternoons. And like the friends called it an early happy hour. You know, we're not serving alcohol or anything, but I think for some people to get out like at 1 o'clock, it just seemed like we're okay. Mona, you were okay, right? Are you?
No, I wasn't there, but I came that day.
Oh,
I came that day to pick up a return a book, and the place was humming. And said, "What's going on?" And then somebody told me
Oh.
when they talked. You know.
yeah, from the young and David.
Yeah,
So we're gonna.
but you could really the whole place almost the roof was almost humming. The energy was just palpable.
So we're gonna do the Egyptian exhibit coming up in August. So we're gonna keep that series going because I think people really liked it, and then the talking again afterwards.
There's also the Matisse exhibit at the MoMA that is very interesting. If someone can give
Okay, that's a good tip because we don't.
La Femme au Chapeau, and it's interesting. It's that one painting and all the connections that are related to that particular painting. It's a short, it's a good, there's a connection to the area because of the Stein, of Gertrude Stein was Oakland.
Okay.
There's no there.
David, I mean, I know that you worked with some of the older patrons in the old library who were uneasy about the move. Have you seen, are they coming? Are they feeling comfortable?
I'll be kind of blunt. I think most of them was majority, I don't know what number I should always say, aren't coming here. I don't think they like the new warmness of this facility. It's a little too modern. I think it was a big change for some of the patrons. Some are coming in with the holds, you know, pick up and as regular people. But we're also, as this library, at the old library, people would stand and talk with us a long time where we can't talk with people long now. And there's some people I know I've seen in the beginning that I haven't seen over here. I don't monitor every time,
No.
come in, but I think there's definitely a group of people who miss the coziness of that reading room.
Let's just hope that they are not isolated now as a result. So maybe they found another place to go and be connected.
And I have one letter from one person that they understood, blah, 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 but they were going to start to go to San Anselmo.
Okay.
Because of, it's Carnegie and the
Yeah.
lights in there, and that was their choice.
Right, as long as it as a result of our bigger, better modern building, they're not overloaded and disconnected.
You have their names? I mean, did they ever sign up for anything?
Like the letter I knew, the person signed their name to hers email, but they haven't signed up for like the art programs or the study rooms.
It would be, well, we do have their names, maybe see if they are receiving the notification so that they can still be
Oh,
kept abreast of what's going on, and maybe something will interest them, and again, they will, even if they come for something else, just not to read, but just to
okay.
participate for programs or to listen to programs. And
They come to that tea at the end.
Yeah, there were people who came to the tea at the end, I would say, that haven't come over with as much frequency as they used to do. We had some people who were daily people over there who don't come in here as much. And it might be just part of your downtown routine versus walking over here. It's
Yeah.
just,
that's why if they receive the communication in the newsletter, it can be a reminder and a viewer as they.
that's a good idea. I could spot check some of their names and in our emails.
And then they do a welcome. Very well.
Comparable areas here that are like those spots where they would sit.
Yes.
Maybe they just didn't explore it enough.
Some people change, just
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
takes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change
you know,
is
another
difficult. And the
month.
vibe here is very different.
Yes.
It's not too quiet,
No, it's much more energetic.
definitely, yeah.
And I've had some people, not that those folks who complain about it, but some people have complained about like the kids in the afternoon and it's loud. And
Or they're in the basement.
And they didn't really
Basement.
have kids coming there. Yeah.
Before they were locked up in the basement. Yeah.
And that's what we do, the going back to this. I think you're gonna see this huge jump in our teen book circulation.
Good.
Because,
Great.
you know, kids are reading more, and the Anisha kids are, literacy, I guess,
Yes.
really, yeah. So it is, but I'll go back to the progress, because I think some of these will be, you know, to them, just the last few, because we are continuing, I mentioned the poetry. We're continuing our master gardeners. We had nuts last week, and it was well attended, tree nuts. And we had a mahjong, intro to mahjong.
Good.
And that one was capacity like 60 in there. It was hard to get them out. We're going to do a social mahjong, I think, every couple of weeks. Again, she's donating her time or help. It's a free program. We're just providing the space. And that seemed like a connection
Yeah.
class. We don't want to be like the regular mahjong.
Right.
Like a rec center, but just every so often, if it's like super easy and people can meet. So I think that's,
Miles quickie.
But I do, what you mentioned earlier, that you wanted to bring introduction to program, and I think this is a very good, this is what the library does. Just, we're not gonna teach you something, we're gonna show you that then if you wanna do more mahjong, there's a rec center. If you wanna do more Tai Chi breathing, then find a class somewhere. But here, cover that particular program activity. Very good approach.
yeah, we're an intro, we're not here.
It's very
Yeah.
good.
Right, we're here to show you,
Yeah,
put you into it. I think it's a very good, that's what we're, that's our mission, open more doors.
and then the other one I just mentioned, we're starting to doing another, we got a volunteer from the community who's doing senior tech tutoring. And so basically, he's 66 years old, lives nearby, has a technology background, and basically just we supply the tutors. We're booked through August, and they bring in the devices, and he answers whatever basically the question is, because he's just comfortable enough, and their questions are like, how do I do my Apple email?
Right.
Yeah.
And so that started last Friday, and that was pretty popular. Again, it's almost like we have to wrap this up, kind of popular. And it's all booked through mid-August, so we're still figuring out how to, because you don't want to book too far ahead, people forget. So, and then we're EPSCOM at the
Yeah.
College of Marin.
Yeah.
They're gonna come and do how to host a Zoom meeting for seniors. So we're trying to do some senior tech help. Again, these are easy for us to organize, so that's partially why we're doing it. And I think EPSCOM's gonna do like an AI for seniors a little bit. So we're talking about that. There's a series in class, and then we're gonna try, again, this is probably senior targeted too, but a game day where we just have puzzles and crosswords and those type of more individual puzzles in the room, and people can work on them and
Yeah.
Social, yeah.
so again, that's an easy one where we're just providing space. And I think we're gonna do it in the meeting room. So those are kind of some of the things we have been trying to do this summer. I think when we get the 2 library assistants and have our librarians freed, be able to do, I think, programming at this level, probably a little overstretched, but I would like to have something basically every day what we're doing, and then get to the point where we're doing like Eat Thursdays or, you know, something where it's kind of themed by day where people can, if you don't come one week, kind of know there's something.
And for people, it's like Tackle Tuesday, that what they did, or maybe we should do tackle or Beatless Monday, and you remember, oh, it's Monday, they have chess, or it's Tuesday, it's a cheat, I'm not going there. Just-
Yeah, and Wednesdays might be for kids if they get out early for tea to talk. And then just one other quick thing we got coming up. This facility's also made us more, I think, endearing to the school. So Hall's invited us for their opening day reception for kids to have a table over there. So we'll be over there. And also Neil Cummings invited us to their opening day.
Right.
So just kind of exposing, we're probably not a first day thing, but hopefully the kids will remember us, you know, after Labor Day and when they're in the group school and everything. So we're trying to get out a little bit more in the community.
So for these events, you ever need bodies, representatives, board members who are not working full time and have kids, like me,
Yeah.
we can come. I mean, it's not always, it doesn't have to be the friends or, you know, I'm talking for everybody. But specifically me, with a little notice, I can make myself available and help you so that you don't have to pull somebody from the desk to be there.
Even at 8:15.
Yes.
Okay, you might have, I might follow up with you.
Oh my God, at 4 a.m. I can
Okay.
text you at 4 a.m.
And also, I think, like you're talking about Hall and Neil Cummings, and that's great, but I'm just putting a plug in for Basic and Kent, because that's
Yeah.
where my kids are, those are their schools, and this is the library that serves all of those students,
Yep.
and there's a bunch of, I don't know Kent kids as well, because mine are Basic, but, I know Basic kids are here all the time.
Do you have like a kickoff day or like so these two we got invited to, so.
Yeah, the first day is, whatever, it's like Wednesday, the 18th or something like that. And so I can, easily find out. Historically, as far as I know, at least, there hasn't been like a first day sort of thing like what you're describing. But, I mean, there's a ton of like event stuff over the first few weeks of school. Like there's a back to school night. There's just like a bunch of stuff that happens over the first few weeks every year. So I can reach out and see what would be appropriate to maybe highlight.
Okay,
The libraries, I know there's a lot of kids here, but I also know there's so many more at the schools that are not here. So just to highlight to them.
that'd be good. Yeah, and it actually for us in some ways it'd be better if it wasn't those 2 days because
It's busy.
we're busy.
Yeah.
We got those two, but if there's other, like I know Emma went to some after school, like Neil Cummings once in May. So yeah, I think if he could get us in touch or.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, for sure. So it is the library for that community
Yeah,
also.
those are Larkspur kids.
Yeah,
That'd be good. Yeah, and I think this is a little I think the state is gonna have tutor.com available for all students through us and all the libraries. So we're still also with these schools. We haven't talked too much about what to promote beyond reading or outdoor programs. But we'll hopefully have a few other exciting things to entice them, even with our online offerings.
Yeah.
If they can't make it all the way in here.
well, I will, I'll make them in between now and our next meeting. I'll figure out like a good time for us to be able to highlight the library there.
And see, this doesn't charge. This is like a deep into this.
The cord long enough to reach the wall, or do you need to?
Well, let's see how much we have left.
Let's speed it up.
Okay.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Because it said 45%, but
It's great to see all those teens like taking place, whether it's the programming stuff or the young adult checkouts or whatever. It's very,
want them to leave.
That's
it.
great.
I'll guide them.
Should we move on to future agenda items?
Yes.
Okay.
down 6.1 to the future agenda item.
Yeah, so I was taking a couple notes I have on there, 6.1. And then the public posting policy,
Yeah.
and any other policies that we want to review at the next meeting. Also to, maybe Armel to revisit, just to get some idea on who's using this, room rental policy.
Okay, yeah, I could probably get with some.
It might,
It
yeah.
might be too early,
It may be
I know,
early for
I
that.
know, I know, but, I mean,
It's
But we should,
good to keep it on future.
Yeah.
Manageable, but maybe. How, how do you feel in previous years in the fall?